Over the method, I would recommend you grabbing a paper and pencil and maybe writing down some of these steps and algorithms and just practice using that paper, and eventually you won't need it anymore. So let's get started. So first we need to mix up this cube, which I'll do really quickly. Just doing random moves. Okay, I think that's mixed up enough. So now the first step is in solving a 3x3 is to pick a color, and with that color you want to make a cross, so basically looks like a plus sign. So for this video we're just going to choose white, and to make a cross there's no necessary algorithms, so you basically have to figure it out on yourself. And then if you look at these edge pieces, even though they're in like a cross shape like on the white side, that doesn't necessarily mean they're in the correct spot. To check if they're in the correct spot, we need to look at the side, and we can see here that this edge piece is in the correct spot because its secondary color matches its center on the side. But this edge piece is not in this correct spot because this is green and this is red, and those do not match. So this edge piece should actually go here because this is red and that needs to match with this. So you'll just have to like figure out how to do this part. And then you basically just do that with all the other edge pieces. So where's the, here. Okay, so now I made a cross, and if you look at this color here, the match on each side. Yeah, so that's it for the first step, which is pretty simple. So the second step of this method involves solving all of these corner pieces. So we would solve the white side at the end of the step. So the first step in solving the corner pieces is to locate one of them. So if we look on the top, we can see that this is a corner piece, and by looking at its colors, blue and orange, we can see that it belongs in between the white edge pieces that have blue and orange. So for example, this white edge piece is blue, this is orange, so the corner piece belongs in between these. So what we want to do is bring it right in front, like on top of the spot that it has to go. And so we just repeat this algorithm, the following algorithm, as many times until this thing solves itself. So here's that algorithm. R, U, R, I, U, N. So it's pretty simple to remember, but I would still suggest writing it down. And you just keep doing that until this faces this way. There we go. So now it's in its correct spot. So we need to do that to all these other corner pieces. So we can see here this one is red and blue, so it belongs in between the red and blue. So it's right above its spot. So now we just do that algorithm again. And then, okay, we solved that. Now this one is orange and green, so we just bring that above orange and green. And notice how it has to be, you can't have it like this and do the algorithm. It has to be like on the right side. So now, and then that's solved. And now we just have one more white corner piece, which is in between red and green. And this is red and green, so just do that. And just like that, we've solved the white side, and we can double check by seeing that all these colors match, and all the whites are on this side. So that's it for this step. Now, the next step of this method is to successfully solve these middle edge pieces. So what we want to do for this step is to turn the cube so that white is on the bottom and yellow is on the top. And now we look at these edge pieces and look in the top layer and see if any of these edge pieces belong in the middle layer. So we can do that by finding edge pieces and seeing if one of the colors is yellow. Because since yellow is the top layer, any edge piece with yellow does not belong in the middle layer. So here we have an edge piece that does not have yellow as any of its colors. So therefore it belongs to the middle layer. And so what we want to do is, you see how this is red? This needs to match up with the, like, on top of the red center. So we'll move it so that it matches on top of the red center. And this is red and blue, so that means it belongs here, like in between the blue and red. So this algorithm is a bit long, so I would recommend writing it down. And also, this algorithm is for moving this piece to the left. So this is how you do it. UI, Li, U, L, U, F, UI, Fi. So just like that, we have solved this edge piece. So now let's look for more edge pieces on the top. So yeah, this is orange and green. So we need to match this up with green. And so this is orange and green, so it belongs over here. But this time, instead of moving it to the left, we need to move it to the right. So this is a different algorithm, but it is somewhat similar. So I would also recommend writing this down as well. So this algorithm goes as follows. So U, R, UI, Ri, UI, Fi, U, F. And we just solve this. So let's just do that with the remaining ones. Okay, so now we have solved the middle layer. So you can see all the edge pieces are solved. And so now we're ready to move on to our next step. The next step involves making a yellow cross. So there are different possible cases for the step. So I'll be showing each of them separately. So first case is if you have like a line that's horizontal, you keep it such that the line is like horizontal compared to you. And then you do the following algorithm. You do F, R, U, Ri, UI, Fi. So here are the other cases. There is another possibility that you could have gotten a case that looks like this. So how we do that is it can look like any of these in these positions, but you'd position it such that it's in this shape, not like this or this or this. It has to be like this, and you do F, U, R, UI, Ri, Fi. Another case that you could have gotten would be just one yellow cube in the center. And what you do for this is you just do one of the algorithms from before. So I'm just going to do one of them. And then we get a case that we know how to deal with. So that's it for this step. The next step of the cube involves making all of these yellow corner pieces face the yellow layer. So how we do that is by putting yellow on the bottom, white on the top. We look in this area of the cube and check if this yellow corner piece is facing the correct direction, and clearly none of these are. So for my case, it might take this step might take more time. So what we would do here is we'd keep it like with white on the top, but I'm just doing this to show. We would do R, U, Ri, UI. We do that until this is facing the correct direction. So now it's facing the correct direction, and so then we would just turn the bottom layer clockwise until we find another edge piece, another corner piece that is not facing the correct direction. So this one is not facing the correct direction, so we do the algorithm again. as many times as we need it. So we'll just do that to all these. You can see here it's not facing the correct direction, so RQ, RUI, UI. And then now this one. There we go. So now we have completed this step. So for the next step, we turn the cube so that yellow is on the top again. And now this step involves solving, like correcting all of these corner pieces, because as you can see, these corner pieces aren't exactly in the correct spot. So there are two cases for this step, so I'm going to show each of them separately. So one of them is when you have two corner pieces whose corner pieces look like they're both the same color, like they're matching. Like here they aren't really matching because orange and blue, and then red and orange, and blue and red. But these two are green and green, so we just move them on top of the green side. And then we keep this to the left, and we do the following algorithm. We do R, U, U, R, I, U, I, R, U, U, L, I, U, R, I, U, I, L. And that will solve all of the corner pieces. So now for the other case. So the other case for this step would be is if you look at all the corner pairs and you do not have a single pair that is matching. So you don't need to worry. So with this, you just need to keep yellow on the top, white on the bottom, and just do the algorithm. It doesn't matter how the top layer is facing or what's on the left or the right. Just do the algorithm once. So R, U, U, R, U, R, U, U, L, U, R, U, I, L. So now, then you will get a matching pair for this step if you did it correctly. So I'm just gonna match this up to the side. Now keep that to the left and do the algorithm. And now, time to move on to our next step. So this step does have some cases, but the algorithms are not too bad. They are very similar to each other. And the first case is if you have a solved side, then you would keep that to the back. You'd still have yellow on the top, white on the bottom. And now we would look at these edge pieces, and we look to see like if this edge piece is blue, and this needs to like be here, and this edge piece is orange, this needs to be here. This edge piece is red, and it needs to move here. So the edge pieces need to move in this direction, and this is clockwise. So the algorithm to move them clockwise is this: F, F, U, L, R, I, F, F, L, I, R, U, F, F. So that's the algorithm to move them clockwise. And now time for the other case. So another case that you could have is you have a solved side, just keep it in the back. And now this time, if we look at the edge pieces, this is orange and it needs to move over here. This is blue, it needs to move here. This is red, it needs to move here. So this is a counterclockwise direction. So the algorithm is a bit different. It looks like this: F, F, U, I, L, R, I, F, F, L, I, R, U, I, F, F. And that will solve the cube for you. And now there's one final case. The last case is if you look at the sides and you do not have a solved side. So you don't need to panic for this. You didn't do anything wrong. It is just random probability that you got this. So what you do, you just do one of the algorithms. Just any one of them, it doesn't matter. And that will set you up with a solved side, which you can easily put to the back. And here I can see that these need to move counterclockwise. So. And we have solved the Rubik's Cube. So I hope you took the time to watch through this video, and I would suggest writing these algorithms down on a piece of paper and practicing your Rubik's Cube every day. And so these algorithms, it might seem hard to memorize them at first, but eventually they'll just become natural to you if after a lot of practicing. So I hope this was helpful, and see you next time.